Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. The rain has just stopped. It's been off and on for the past couple days, which has been wreaking a bit of havoc with the work, but I've really enjoyed the fact that the weather has cooled down and it's actually been really nice. This video is basically all about the roof. I've been trying to finish the tongue and groove, so watch to the end to see if I actually get it done. Plus, at the end of the video, I'm going to share something that I think is really wonderful with you. I get an amazing bargain for an appliance that's going to go inside the Craic Shack. So watch to the end to see what that is. Watch to the end to see if I finish the roof. And just watch to the end because it's good for the channel. So let's just get into the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day so far. There's actually a little bit of a chill in the air. Would you believe it? And I'm wondering how long it is before I start moaning about the cold weather. I'm sure it won't be too long. My plan for the morning is to continue powering on with the tongue and groove, but I thought I would check on the figs first. They've been here dehydrating in my car dehydrator, and it's doing really well. I've actually combined the figs from under the screen over there into the car dehydrator because it seems to be working really well. So once these are a bit more dry, I'm going to pop them in the freezer for 48 hours to kill any larvae and bugs. That's what it says to do. And then I'll have a whole bunch of dried figs, which is very exciting. So I worked a bit more into the evening on the tongue and groove for the Craic Shack roof. If you want to see some of that work, you can check out this video where I go into a bit of detail about how I actually get the tongue and groove pieces tight, how I'm putting it on the roof, and my weird methods. But basically my goal is to get the pieces on so that they're pulled in together as tightly as possible so I don't have too many gaps. And it's been tricky, but I feel like I'm making some good progress. I have lots of boards here to chop to size. I still have loads to sand, and I'm just going to carry on this morning with the work and check in when this is all a bit more finished because I really am anxious to get this done. Well, I didn't finish, but I made some really amazing progress, and I'm so happy with how things are going. It's not perfect. I do have some gaps between the boards, but you know what? I think done is better than perfect. That's something that I have a hard time saying. It's not really my mantra. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but you have to know when to let go. This project has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm learning loads, but it's also been very humbling, and I'm sort of figuring out what my limits are or the things that I need to do more research on, and I'm just plodding along. And today was spent basically just doing the same thing over and over and over again, cutting the pieces to size, sanding them up, getting them up onto the roof, ratchet strapping them tight, and then screwing them down. And I've also had to sand up a few more boards, so I've chosen the good sides, I've given them a sand, and then I've chopped those up, and they're up on the roof as well. So I've been really busy. It's about 6:45 now, and I've been pretty much going for it all day long. And as you can see, I have a couple packs of tongue and groove still there, and I'm going to leave those strapped down, and hopefully they won't want to twist around too much, and I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. So it's hard to tell. I'd say I'm maybe about halfway done, and that's keeping in mind that I'm going to leave this bay unfinished so I can mess around with the skylight when the time comes. And I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to have enough. I might need to get one more pack, which is a little annoying, but I gotta say, shortening the pieces and working with the smaller pieces has made everything actually bearable. It would have been too hard otherwise. It's created some waste, but I'll find something for that. These pieces are going to be useful for shelving or something in the future, so I'll hang on to those. I'm very pleased with how things are going, and I love how it looks from the underside as well. So it's been a long and very tiring day, but the progress has been good, and so I'm gonna call it quits from today, go drink a glass of wine with Sinead, enjoy our Friday evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more fun with roofing. So instead of pushing on with the work, I decided instead to take a day off and go to the lake because Would you believe it? I hadn't actually been to the lake at all this year, and that to me it was pretty crazy. There was a fun event being hosted at the lake with DJs, live music, and there was delicious Mexican food being cooked up by my friends at the kitchen table, and there were a lot of people there that I knew, and it was just a really fun day out. And the next day was taken up running errands, and of course, since we were in the bigger city, Sinead and I had to stop in and have some sushi. And then after 2 days off, I was very eager to get back to work, so I just dove right in and powered through getting these boards up onto the roof. So it was choosing the boards, sanding them up, sawing them, and putting them in place, and I was doing it all under the threat of some rainy weather ahead. Well, the rain has arrived as expected. It rained quite a bit overnight, and as you can see, it's continuing today. It feels lovely and refreshing, and I'm really happy to see it, even though I had to spend some time preparing. It's nice that the land's gonna get a drink, and it's just lovely to have a break in the hot weather without it getting too cold just yet. It's definitely still nice out, and having a summer shower like this, I think, is always welcome. So rather than heading outside and battling the elements while I try to do some work, I'm going to spend the day indoors, tidying my place, and most importantly, I'm going to spend some time designing the interior layout of the Craic Shack. Things in there are going to be pretty tight, but I feel like if I come up with a creative design, I'll be able to get a lot of stuff in there and make the space really useful. I've also got some online writing to get to, but then I might put the work away and do a bit of reading, practice some Portuguese, and maybe just use this weather as an excuse to stay indoors and chill out before I get back to work in full force on the Craic Shack, hopefully tomorrow if the weather cooperates. So goodbye from this rainy but lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello from a new day. I'm gonna get back to this conduit stuff a little later, or probably tomorrow. The weather is looking lovely, but there is a bit of a threat of rain, and the forecast says it could sprinkle just a little bit, so that makes me kind of nervous to uncover everything, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So this morning I was really busy, as usual, choosing the best size, sanding them up, and chopping them into the correct lengths. And now I have a collection of boards ready to go onto the roof. I have 2 spare boards here that I think I'll need to cut a few more shorter ones from. And over here I have 2 boards that I completely screwed up by cutting too short, but I'll be able to use those somewhere, I'm sure. And now my goal is to get up and get them all installed. But first, let's uncover this. So the weather forecast is dubious. The skies, they're looking a little bit menacing, but not so bad. So I'm in a world of confusion, and I think what I'll do is just take off one side and leave the other side on, because wrapping this all up was kind of a pain in the ass, and I don't want to have to uncover it and then cover it back up again straight away. So let's work on this side, and fingers crossed the rain stays away. So it's pretty unusual to have rain like this in August. Oftentimes we'll have a really crazy storm, usually at the end of June, and often on my birthday, which is very inconvenient when you're hosting people. But it's definitely very, very welcome. Having to cover things up is a bit annoying. Oops. This one seems to want to move around. Up you go. But the benefits of having the rain watering the trees, and most importantly, for having, I guess, the water on the land so that there's less of a fire risk, is definitely worth any extra little bit of effort to cover stuff up. So I'm in a race against the possible rain, and I'm also really, really desperate to get this finished and move on to something else. So the camera's going away, and I'm just going to power through, and I'll see you guys again soon when I'm a little bit more finished. Well, progress is definitely very slow, but I'm getting there, and it looks like the rain is going to hold off for today, but we do have some coming tomorrow, so I'd love to get this done and covered. So it's about 4 p.m. and I gotta say, this is a slog for sure. Mad respect to roofers out there. Not only is it finicky work, it's also precarious and kind of acrobatic. I've been going up and down the scaffolding constantly, and though it is kind of fun to be up here in the elements and working on this, it's a pretty big roof for one person, and I'm ready to be done. So I'm gonna keep pushing on, piece by piece, little by little. So this ratchet strap method seems to be working quite well for me. I've got it clamped down here so it doesn't want to pull it up. And then I'm just using the strap to cinch it in as close together as I possibly can. And it's working for most of them. Some of the boards are a little bit too bowed this way, and so it leaves some gaps. And some of the boards seem to be a bit uneven as far as thickness goes. So if there's anything that looks too gappy on the underside, I'll possibly attack it with wood filler, though I don't know if that's a no-no when you're using tongue and groove. And for anything that's uneven, I'll go at it with the orbital sander to see if I can even it out. I know done is better than perfect, but I'm only building one of these, and I know I would be annoyed if I have massive gaps or uneven bits on the underside, so I might as well give it a try. I can't shake these perfectionist ways of mine. And you know what? I feel like I'm enjoying the process still, and I'd rather have these gaps closed and looking nice than having them annoy me for the rest of my days. And then next up, do a pre-drill. I love a pre-drill. I find that wood splitting is one of the most frustrating things ever, so I'd rather just take that extra step and do a pilot hole. And then I drill it in. Oops, oops. And people have pointed out that nails are cheaper and faster, and the amount of screws I've used on this thing is crazy and expensive, but my idea is that the screws will help the board pull down towards the rafter in a way that the nails wouldn't. And so that's my thinking behind it. Plus I had a whole bunch of the screws anyways, so figured I'd use them for those reasons. While I'm up here on this gorgeous day, I want to point out that Sinead's place over there, over yonder, maybe you can see it's got loads and loads of plastic on it. The builder put that on a couple days ago, and then yesterday we had the crazy rains, and Sinead and I had to go do a rescue operation. It was flapping around like crazy, and we were up there on the second floor trying to get this plastic attached down again. It was quite the adventure. There was some rain inside, but for the most part everything has stayed dry. And I'm going to give you guys an update on that soon. There's lots of amazing things happening over at her place. But for the moment, I'm just continuing to do this ratchet strap, drill, screw, and repeat. And so, since it's really hard to film up here, goodbye for the moment, and I'll see you again soon. It's 7:30 in the evening, and it's gorgeous out here. The rain didn't come in the end, and I've just been up here working away on this thing, and as always, things are taking longer than expected, but I'm making progress. Those three down there aren't yet attached, but they're obviously cut to size. These ones are mostly attached except for right there. These ones up here aren't attached, but they're cut. Most of these ones aren't yet attached, but I have all the pieces I need to finish the entire row. And then I have this couple of pieces here, and I don't exactly know where the skylight's gonna go just yet, but probably somewhere around here. Or on second thought, I'll probably move the skylight down one more board and start it from there. From underneath, things are looking good. You can see the gaps where it's not attached yet. But I really am so happy with how this is going and how it looks so far. And so now I'm just eating some leftover salad from lunch, admiring my handiwork and wondering if I should keep working tonight or not. I don't think I'm gonna have enough pieces to finish the whole thing. Frustratingly, I'm probably a board short. I do have one full board and the two pieces I screwed up earlier, plus I have a whole bunch of short pieces inside the bathroom stacked on the floor, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. And so I think what I'll do is attach the ones that I'm currently working on and then call it on work and go into town and get one more pack of this stuff. Oh, hello there. This little guy saw that I had food. There's chicken in that there salad, and he has suddenly become very interested in the kale salad. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna take a break for half an hour, and I'm gonna come back and keep pushing for as long as I have the energy for, because it's been a really long day of work. I was expecting to get this done, and I'm a bit disappointed that I don't have enough pieces. Hello there. This little fellow has also come to say hello. How are you doing? So the cats are out enjoying this beautiful evening, and I think the sun's gonna be up for another hour or so, so I'm gonna eat quickly and get back onto the roof. What do you think about that? Yeah? meow meows like this. Okay, enough cat stuff. Back to it after some salad. I'm back. I've had salad, I've pondered. As you can see, the sun is going down, and so are my energy levels. But I'm gonna do one final push. I have 2 more boards to screw down. The time-consuming thing is moving the ratchet strap along. I've gotta get the ladder going back and forth and shift the whole thing down around the posts and poles and things underneath the roof structure. So that takes a while, but I'm all set up. The clamps are on. Let's wrap the strap around there. Loop it onto this guy. It's very hard to film up here. And then basically just pull it all tight. And ratchet it in. And as I do this, oops, first I have to hook it on there. I'm tired, possibly shouldn't be doing this one-handed on the roof in the kind of darkness while I'm quite exhausted, but let's just see what happens. So you ratchet it in, and as I've shown you before, the boards should cinch in closer. There's a lot of pressure on there. Underneath, hopefully it looks okay. If it doesn't, I'll deal with that later. Then we do some more drilling. And then some more screwing. More screws. I'm using so many screws doing this. It's definitely very ridiculous. And I absolutely 100% know it's not what I'm supposed to be doing, but that's the joy of being a DIY person without that much experience. You kind of just come up with your own ways and figure it out. And there's definitely more than one way to do things. And now I release the ratchet strap. Such a useful tool. Take off the clamps. And then this little block will come out. You know what? This little, there, block will come out. And basically I'm gonna pack up the tools and call it a night. And what a beautiful night it is. The moon is over there. It's nice and calm, and it's really, really lovely out here. And it's actually surprisingly chilly. So I should probably start thinking about firewood fairly soon, which is always an annual ordeal. But that can wait for another month, I think. So I was actually gonna end the video here, but I feel like there's been loads and loads of the same thing in this video, and I really wanna show a little bit more of the Craic Shack work. So I'm gonna persevere into tomorrow. We're gonna tackle some of the conduits and possibly get wiring inside of them, make some decisions, and I'm also gonna walk you through the design I came up with for the Craic Shack because I would love some feedback on it. I'd love some ideas. So I'll give you guys a little tour tomorrow of my design ideas and then ask for your help. So, the Craic Shack is looking good. The roof is closing in, and I'm very, very happy with it so far. All right, that's it for me from today. Goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more work. Good morning, everybody. I was up pretty early and out working on the Craic Shack, trying to beat the rain. The weather forecast said the rain would arrive at 11 a.m., and I figured I could put a little bit of a push on the work, get the roof mostly done, or at least get all the pieces of wood on that I had, and then get the whole thing covered in a tarp before the rains came. Well, you'll have to trust me that I mostly finished the roof. I think I might be so close to having enough wood as well. I was able to use some of the pieces that were in the Tully Tower on the floor to span some of the gaps, so that was great. And I just powered through, and then I had to evacuate due to the stormy skies and the rain coming down. I managed to round up some tarps, and some of them were covered in earth, and not the finest, but I feel like it'll do the trick. So now I'm hiding inside the house, waiting for the weather to change, having some breakfast. And then hopefully I can also give you a tour of my idea for what I want to do in the Craic Shack, because I would love feedback, as I mentioned. But it's just all going to be dependent on the weather, so I'm going to have breakfast, have a coffee, hide inside for a little while, run this errand, and then I'll see you again fairly soon, hopefully with some sunny skies. So it's quite a bit later, and unfortunately the sun is not shining and it's still raining. So that has foiled my plans to give you a little tour. And as I started to film this, the rain actually started to come down even harder, but I need to show you what I picked up today. I'm really happy with it. It's a freezer, and I'm so happy with this bargain. I bought it from a couple that recently upgraded to a larger fridge, and this thing was a great price. It was 50 euros. The brand is called Liebherr. No idea how to pronounce that. It's a German brand, and when I looked it up online, something like this is 500 euros, and I got it for 50, so I am very pleased with myself. So the Craic Shack design is underway. I even have a dedicated Adobe Illustrator file on the go, so I can make each appliance, map out the floor plan, drag things around, test the different widths of countertops and shelves and all sorts of stuff like that. I'm putting a whole lot of time and thought into how I design this space because it is pretty tight, but I feel like with some creative ideas, I can make this into a really wonderful space. So I'm gonna save the tour of my ideas for another video, for the next video, but one thing I did want to ask you guys out there is whether you think this is a weird idea or not. So inside, I'd like to have the ceiling light. I just think it'll look nicer. I'll probably stain it with linseed oil or something like that. But on the outside, I'd like to have the overhang a darker stain to match with the pergola, because eventually I'm probably also going to have a pergola extending out from here as well, and I just want it all to match with that nice dark color. And what I'm not sure about is it weird to have the overhang a different color than what's going on inside the building? So if you have any thoughts or strong opinions on that, please do let me know in the comments, because this is definitely the first time I've built a building from scratch, and I'm really not sure if I've ever noticed something like that before. And before I say goodbye from the video, I just wanted to point out the figs. I've cleaned up a whole bunch of figs that had fallen to the ground and put them into those buckets there. So this is full of all of the figs that I've been stomping on and squashing into the soil, and more are falling. All of these are new in the past couple of hours, and I just wanted to point it out because they are so frustrating. They fall to the ground, I stomp on them, dirt attaches to them, the dirt goes in the house, and it's all just kind of gross and nasty. So it's something I'm going to try to keep on top of, but I feel like having cleared the space of figs, it's making everything a lot easier to walk around and work. And I also actually tidied inside there in preparation for getting rid of the scaffolding and giving you guys a nice look around when I give the tour of my idea in the next video. So even though the rain has interfered with my plans to finish the roof, I have managed to do a few things today, and I'm quite pleased with myself, especially with that freezer, which I think is going to be amazing in here. It's one of the main reasons I wanted this little outbuilding, was to have a dedicated freezer, because I do like preserving food, making batch meals and stuff like that. And it's going to be very excellent to have it. It's probably going to go in that corner, but we'll talk about that in the next video. So it's been a very roof-dedicated video with some other stuff mixed in, and I feel like it's been a lot of work for me over the past few days, but very rewarding. And even though the roof isn't done, I'm going to finish it off camera the next time the sun shines, and then we're going to get into the conduit and start talking about the walls and some other things as well. So this is definitely a massive project. I also have to continue on with the roof. I need some more materials for that, but I really am loving it. I'm in my element with this, and I haven't even gotten into the creative stuff. This is just the structure. Once I get the walls going and have to think about bottle walls and stuff like that, it's just going to turn into what I hope will be a piece of art. Anyways, that's enough blabbing on. I feel like I need a nap. It's been a long day, and I have some dinner plans later on as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.